Namaste, welcome back to Mindful Serenity Yoga, or Waking Up in a Busy World. And we are going to continue with the answering of questions from my trusty jar of many questions. And I still seem to have a lot. I don't know if I added to it or not, but the last few don't seem to be going down any. So I'll pull a question from the jar. I will read it quickly, and I will start it. Wow. And the question is, what is the greatest quality humans possess? What is the greatest quality humans possess? I will take a deep breath. And then I'll answer the question. Or try to. Again, I'm no expert. What is the greatest quality humans possess? Now, when I think of that question, I think of the greatest quality we possess is not necessarily the one that we use the most. So I want to make that clear. And I would have to say that the greatest quality humans possess is their ability to forgive, which would involve compassion, if that makes any sense. We all have ingrained within us this ability to let that which doesn't serve us go, yet we seldom use it. We do instead have a tendency to collect grievances because ego tells us we need to. We need to have justifications for feeling so separate and afraid and insecure, so unhappy. And ego tells us that it is not our responsibility that we are unhappy. It is the world's or other people's or all the thems out there. So we have a tendency to look for that which is wrong with the world rather than embracing and seeing and appreciating all that is right with the world and with each other. So this tendency we have to collect grievances goes against our internal and very natural innate gift of compassion, understanding, and forgiveness, which I believe to be our greatest quality we possess. We don't use this quality, like I said, because of ego's need to keep us separate and alone and afraid and, justified and rationalized in our grudges and our grievance collecting and our unforgiveness, making those wrong because we want to be right. Yeah, ego has this innate and this very determined tendency towards the need to be right rather than to be kind. Ego feels that we're always in competition with one another or with other things in the environment or the world, and there's a right and there's a wrong, a bad and a good, and a should and a shouldn't be, and it always wants to be on the side of right, should, and should be, and good. But those are all just relative terms that mean absolutely nothing in the big picture of things. But in that need to be right, we often fail to tap into the seeds within our star consciousness where compassion and kindness reside, where this innate and wonderful ability to forgive exists. So we don't use it enough. Now this great quality that we possess, this ability to forgive, doesn't just mean, being able to accept somebody's apology. It involves our ability to let go of our need to be right, our need for grievance, our need for resistance of the what is of the world, and to simply accept it and allow it to be what it is. This innate ability we have to forgive is allowing people to be wherever they are in their own stage of development as they try to journey, whether they know it or not, towards a higher level of consciousness. Just allowing them to be where they are without expecting them and putting the should-bes on them, that they should be further along on their path and acting a different way than they're acting, or thinking a different way than they're thinking, and being a different way than they're being. That's what forgiveness is. And we can also apply that level of forgiveness quality that we have towards our approach to life as well, allowing life to be exactly what it is, without a lot of judgment and expectation and a need for it to be different than what it is. That's forgiveness. And I believe forgiveness of self is of prime importance too. We're going to get to certain points of our evolution or our journey forward where we're going to be looking back and thinking, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I thought like that. I can't believe I hurt that person because I was there. I can't believe I did what I did. And instead of just accepting and allowing ourselves to be wherever we are on our journeys at the time that we're on them, making mistakes, erring, and getting lost and off the path, we have this capability that we don't use to forgive ourselves for that, to allow ourselves to be wherever we are. And as long as we're moving forward, and as long as we are going in the direction towards that higher sense of self, towards that wholesome, skillful way of being, then, we're allowed to make mistakes. We're allowed to make mistakes, and other people are allowed to make mistakes. And forgiveness involves that realization and that allowing of those mistakes without judging, and this need for punishment and labeling people as bad or offenders or whatever because they make mistakes. I am presently in a situation, a very real life situation, with loved ones, where one individual, because of their own state of unconsciousness, has partaken in very destructive behavior towards another. Such destructive behavior that the other person became extremely terrified, hurt, needing the protection of the authorities, and needing to protect herself from the threat that this other individual in their state of consciousness was directing towards them. And this threat was very, very real, because this individual in their state of unconsciousness was truly acting out in a very dangerous way. And most people would label that right away as wrong and bad and shouldn't be, and they have. When the report was made about the incidences, the authorities have taken it upon themselves to incarcerate this individual and put them away and punish them for their crimes against society. And that was not the intention of filing the report in the first place. It was merely for protection. But myself and my loved one are able, and many others as well, are able to see beyond the unconscious behavior to the individual and to see their pain. And they're acting out as a result of their pain and not knowing better, as Jesus said on the cross, forgive them for they know not what they do. And that's what an unconscious person just does not know what they're doing at the time. Not that the act did not reserve consequences, or not that we had to stop the person from doing such an act on this individual again or another individual. Not that there was a great need for improvement in behavioral choices. That was definitely reality. But to punish and to put away this wonderful capability we have of forgiveness in this situation just seemed unheard of me. So right away, my loved one and myself have sat down and talked about this, and we talked about it to others, about this need for forgiveness for this individual, so that this individual can heal from the brokenness within himself. And when you feel that forgiveness, there's a great deal of lightness in the heart, a great deal of letting go in the heart, a great deal of freedom, emotional emancipation, I think someone referred to it as. Where if we were to go towards the usual tendency of wanting this person to pay for what they did, wanting them to be punished, vengeance, anger, wanting them to feel guilty, blaming, we would not have felt that lightness. We would not have felt that ability to go forward in our journeys as we do with this. So forgiveness, I think, is one of the greatest capabilities, the greatest qualities we possess as human beings. Our ability to let go of that which does not serve us, others, or the world, and to look at all other individuals on this planet, be they sentient or non-sentient, all beings, as being a part of who we are, not something to be separated and labeled and isolated away when they act out with their pain, act out with their ignorance, act out with their unconsciousness. Just to simply see the unity of all of us and that capability within all of us, so that forgiveness and understanding and kindness, compassion follow. So yeah, the greatest quality we all possess as human beings is our ability to forgive. And I truly hope that we, as a human race, as earthlings on this planet, all learn to forgive. So the world can be freed from the heaviness of hate and anger and blame. Well, that's all I have to say about that. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.